Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, and this place, Summit Point Raceway, the host venue for the Asbury Motorsports Sports Car Challenge Series, on-tap multi-class racing, skippies, MX-5s, SRFs, sharing the track for the third round of 12 on the inaugural season. Watch it all from Green Flag to Victory Donuts, live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. From the Mountain State, hello and welcome to the final GSRC broadcast of 2017. With the quote and potentate Justin Prince on assignment, it's only Soup and Crackers. Yours truly, Bill Soupson, joined by Sean Crackers Ambrose, way up in the press box to bring you our Word's Eye view. Behind the scene, it is the hardest working man in sim race broadcasting, Joe Peak, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. As we close the curtain on 2017, I know for all of us, it's hard to forget that 1,000 years ago, in the year 1017, Henry III was born, and later, as we all are aware, grew to great renown, becoming the Holy Emperor of Rome. The similarities of Henry III and the Asbury Motorsports SCCS is impossible to ignore. Like Henry III 1,000 years ago, today, the SCCS is in its infancy, and like Henry III, many expect this series, as it matures, to achieve great renown as well. And to drop your jaw just a little lower, like Henry III, this is the third round of the series. Coincidence? I think not. But before we drop not your jaw, but the green flag, let's bring in my partner to tell us a little bit about the SCCS's choice of tracks for round 3.
Over? Final broadcast? Nothing's over until we say it's over soon. Located right here in Jefferson County, West Virginia, 2 hours west of Washington, D.C., Summit Point opened in 1969. Now, during its early years, the SCCA held numerous regional and national events here annually. Now, over time, the track began to host professional races sanctioned by IMSA and the SCCA Trans Am Series through the late 80s. And the main circuit is also the annual home of the Jefferson 500 Vintage Race, the 12 hours at the point endurance race. Rolling through the West Virginia countryside for 2 miles, this main course has 10 turns and a 2,900-foot front straightaway suit. The circuit provides challenging high-speed turns with friendly runoff areas and gravel traps, a tricky technical carousel section, and 400 feet, yes, 400 feet of elevation changes, 400 feet of elevation changes. Listen, buddy, the best way for the viewer and the fans and drivers to get an idea what Summit Point is like is to hop on board the GSRC Skippy and take a ride around.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Skippy, so let's do a lap around Summit Point. Coming across the start-finish line, it's a nice long run to turn 1. This is pretty blatantly your best place for an overtake on the track. Long straight braking zone, tight corner, it's about as inviting as it gets. Just make sure and spot your brake marker so that you don't outbrake yourself. With the increasing radius on the exit of the turn, you'll want to get the car lined up so understeer will be the enemy in terms of setup. Power down and keep the car over to the right to set yourself up for 3. This turn is a little off camber and it's got a pretty blind crest, so it's mostly going to be a single file affair through here. You'll see a lot of guys pushing the limits though and kicking up dirt by just glancing that gravel to the right. Now just aim for the left, and then it's a bit of a lift through 4. After that, throw out the anchor for 5. The wild entry to this hairpin has caused it the nickname Yard Sale Corner for the way the first lap melees leave cars scattered across the infield. Here's where the more technical section of the track begins though. There's a lot of low and medium speed turns with no time to rest between each apex. As you approach the S's, it's going to be critical to line the car up right and set yourself up for each subsequent corner. The last and most important of them will be turn 9, which dumps you onto the backstretch. If you sacrifice your speed on the exit, any car close behind will be ready to pounce before you hit turn 10. This is a potential place for a pass, but it's tricky. It's only a light brush on the brakes, so you need to be fully alongside your opponent. But with it leading back on the main straight, the most important thing will be carrying your speed off the corner and applying the gas as soon as you can. If you got it all right, you finished a lap around Summit Point.
I'm Jed Yaman on the wheel, Joe Peak on the mic, taking us a lap around Summit Point. Now, this is the point in the broadcast where we traditionally go over the championship races, but with this being the holiday season, the folks from the Asbury Motorsports SCCS might have indulged in a little too much Christmas cheer, if you know what I mean. So the standings were slow to be posted. And try as we might here at GSRC to convince our own in-house stat boys, Simon and Poindexter, to do the math, they refused, claiming Mrs. Peak's homemade fruitcake was an unacceptable substitute for actual overtime pay. So sadly, we cannot show you the point races as they currently stand. But what we can do is go to Sean to tell us about the event details.
Let's look at those real quick here. Soup in the QRS Sports Car Challenge Series. Yes, sir. Round 3 this week of 12, 45 minutes this race. Just 5 minutes of qualifying left in this session. Open setups. Now, the open setup means basically they've tweaked on these and set them up specifically for this track today. And restricted fuel. Well, we'll talk about that in just a moment, but they're not carrying a fuel load. And what does that mean? Well, it means they're going to need to pit at least once, maybe twice. We'll see. Fast repairs. No, don't worry about it. You're not getting one here. You better take care of this car around the circuit today because you're going to need it all the way to the end. Incident cap, no, there isn't, but we've talked in the past about the MPI bonus points and how they'll play in here. But Soup, a great race on tap here, and not many surprises here in qualifying so far, with Kanta there on top for the Skippies, and Sonny Canchin on top right now for the Mazdas, and the SRFs shows David Gasper still out there taking a lap around. I think he's completed his 4th lap now, so looks like he is sitting on the pole here provisionally.
I think the biggest surprise would be, and maybe we can bring up the top 10 graphic, I don't know if we're able to do that, would be the distribution of the cars. Look at this, Sean. The Skippies 1, 2, 3. That was no surprise there. Now 4th as Kane Lasky comes in. But then the MX-5 sit right now 5, 6, and 7. And then look at that. The SRFs are in there sitting 7th and 9th and 8th and 9th with David Gasper and Jason Perry.
All separated by less than 2 seconds, Soup. You go back to Perry there. Less than 2 seconds. Think about that for just a second. This is a short track. And boy, I think we're going to see some great racing today.
Sonny Canchin, the top qualifier in the MX-5, he's currently got a 1:21.2. That's just about, looks like it's less than a second slower than Enzo Canta in the Skippy. Boy, I know Sonny. Catch me if you can't. You would sure like to get an overall win. He's always up to the challenge. I know he wants to get that MX-5 to the checkered flag first one of these times. Show these Skippies what it's all about. On board with Cowboy Bob Mills, Sean.
Yeah, taking a ride around, watching him manage the Skippy. And, boy, you know, the Skippy, it's a lot of lift here. You're really not using the brakes with this car. It's a lot of fun getting around the circuit. The elevation changes you talked about, that 400 feet, Soup, it presents quite a challenge.
For me at this track, the hardest corner for me, I'm a little better at now that I've become a little more experienced, is corner number 5. You come off the chute and you're on the left side of the track, and it's tough for guys who are talent challenged to get that car over, to get that good entry, get on the brakes, keep the car going straight. Spent a lot of time off there into the grass on the outside of turn 5. John, this is a pretty friendly course. We talked a little bit about the runoff areas and all the gravel. Pretty friendly but what is bad if you get the car loose, you can end up in the trees.
Yeah, well, you can indeed. Now, you can get in a little bit of trouble down in the carousel if you get on the brakes funny or you run in too hot there. You can run out and hit that barrier right off the track. But for the most part, yeah, Soup, is a pretty safe one. Of course, getting out of turn 9, you talk about getting into the woods there. Anything can happen there if you're really on it, or if you're battling side by side with somebody. But you get to the last turn in Paddock Bend, I was talking about that Skippy before. It really is just a lot of lift through there. Watch for all these drivers, the SRF, the Skippies, and the Mazdas, to explore the very outer boundaries of this track as they get around here for 45 minutes today.
Yeah, you put off in the trees. It's kind of like in golf. Seems like they should give you a penalty shot. You just get to tee it up again, take another swing, but they send you back to the pits. You have to start over. Looking right now, trying to figure out who we're looking at there. Is that Jason Perry? No, it's Trip Smith. Trip the Aerosmith, notorious clean driver, picked up the name Aerosmith for, of course, Aerosmith, notoriously now a clean band as they've been through rehab multiple times. I think they finally got it right. Oh, and just for fun, he does that. The arrow flies.
It certainly does. Following Lasky here, getting around in his Skippy at this point. 20 seconds left here, and he's rode out his final lap already, and
third.
Just getting a little more practice in here.
Now it's a rolling start, and the grid will not be broken up by classes. It is just how you qualify as where you're going to run. So it's a nice mix. We have a few Skippies. Bob Mills is going to be far back in the back, I think, with Daniel Manionkoff as well. Okay, qualifying is done. Let's go to the grid. On the front row, it's Enzo Canta and Fahim Antonietas. Kane Lasky and Rob Adams make up row 2. Sonny Katchen and Marcello Pajan in row 3 in MX-5s. Gene Must Finish Fittest is going to flank them. Then you get to David Gaspers and Jason Perry in the 2 SRFs. Back to an MX-5 with Riley Roach. Sean?
Okay, and a couple more MX-5s in row 6. Joe McDonald and Jeroen Hursum. And you go to row 7. It's a mix of the MX-5 and the SRF. Angelo Fiorino in his SRF and Trip Smith in his Mazda. 15th and 16th, that's row 8. That's going to be Tim Seidel and C-Love back in the SRFs there. Jeffrey Gambrell, Paul Barbuza, 17th and 18th. And row 10, Jerry Moorsdorf and Bob Mills round out row 10. Let's go to row 11 real quick. Last 2 cars here, Danil Manenkoff and Richard Valley.
Manenkoff did not put in a qualifying time. Hopefully he will race with us, but he's not out there yet. Valley did, though, in the double duck position. 22 names on the entry list. Look like 21 are going to grid up. 4 Skippies up in front. Canta, Antonietas, Lasky, and Adams. Katchen and Pagan lead the MX-5s, and Gaspers and Perry are the top SRF drivers. It's round 3 here at Summit Point.
Conta's,
go ahead.
Conta's been with us all day, Soup.
He has. This is our 4th broadcast here on GSRC. Was he in the 49s today? Yes, of course he was. He was in the 49s to start the day, yeah. Then, of course, he was in the Camel race as well?
Yes. No,
maybe not a Camel. He made Lotus 79s though, and then only open-wheeled cars for him today.
Yeah.
As he's going to finish up with the Skippies. It's a full lap around, so give us an opportunity to take a scenic drive through John Denver's West Virginia countryside. There you can see that runoff area into turn 1. And there you see those trees that I was talking about. If you shank it, get out there. They can end.
You know, I really hate spending half my round in the trees. I can't tell you how frustrating that could be. Especially when you can't get your cart back there.
Yeah, that's no good.
Well, you know what? How about an SRF for a golf cart? Huh? Wouldn't that be great?
That would work.
I don't know where we're going to strap the clubs to. Maybe just strap them to the.
You can see that the shadows are long and thin here today. And once again, I should know the time of day. It feels like morning.
Sue, what if I told you it's late afternoon? Actually,
well, that would just be a good indication of how my night went. Now through the carousel. This is a tricky one. When do you get the power down? You gotta wait like every carousel. Takes patience. Then Sean, what about a passing zone here as they come out of this corner 9? Can they get something done before they get into what is so intelligently named the final corner?
You know what, Sue? You're going to try, okay? But I got to tell you, there's just not enough of that straightaway to work with before you get down to Paddock Bend down there.
Here we go. Out of 10, it is Paddock Bend. This long straightaway that Sean talked about. 2,900 feet of concrete that goes in a straight line. Close your eyes. You'll be okay. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows. For the final time in 2017, the horses are out of the barn, leading the stampede into the first corner. It's Fahim Antonitis. Look at the jump he got. Canta a little bit sleeping. He falls back into second. Lasky and Adams. Uh-oh, there's a roller, and it is Marcella Pajan doing some barrel rolls into the sand.
Wow.
Him right there.
That's huge. We'll go back to it, Sue. But Pajan, one of the early favorites in practice, having a toe all the way in with his MX-5.
What happened? He got together either with Fittis or Catch, and we'll come back and we'll look at it. In the SRFs, it is Gasper, but look at this. He is being closely chased by Jason Perry. That's 9th overall, first in class as they race behind Riley Rote in his MX-5. Remember, points are equally balanced between the classes. That battle for 9th overall is worth just as many points as the battle for the overall win. Watch him coming down the front stretch. It is still your leader, but he is being challenged right now. Let's go to that. The defensive line from Antoniadis. Side by side on the top side, that is Canta. Lenzo, not quite the horsepower that you had in the Lotus 49 earlier today. Nevertheless, they dive it into one. Not as much downforce though, right, Sean?
Yeah.
Maybe even a little more.
Canchin back here doing a good job. Hold on to the top spot. Gene Fittis hanging on there with him.
Couple drivers from down under. Canchin from Australia. Gene Fittis, a Kiwi.
Gaspers and Perry side by side. Perry off in the dirt. Brings it back up on track. They're still side by side here, Sue.
I like the position now through the chute. But here comes corner 5. This is what we talked about. And boy, look at that. Gasper does not get a wide entry, but he's able to make it work. Gets it woed up. Perry right behind him in that Christmas-flavored machine. And look at that. Tim Seidel down there as well. Look at that one getting in there as well. 3 cars battling. 1, 2, 3. 8th, 9th, 10th overall. Let's go ahead and bring up the replay that took care of the Italian driver, Marcello Pajan, early on.
Well, Sue, what's going to happen is down on the inside, you're going to see Gene Fittis check up in the green and black car. When he does, it shoots to the left. It takes a quick little bit of a hitch to the left, and when it does, he makes that contact with Pajan. Slight as it may have been, it was right in the center of the turn and rolled him right over.
One more time from up top on this one. Gotta remind, my 95-year-old mother-in-law, if she's watching at home, have to always remind her, remember, Mama Jean, it's simulated. It really didn't happen. Oh. Yeah.
Poor Pajan was really an innocent bystander, and like I said, an early favorite. Still finds himself sitting down there in pit lane.
Car landed on his wheels. Could have pulled a Dale Earnhardt, see if that thing would have driven back. Antoniadis out in front. This is a familiar sight. He has been his own worst enemy so far in the 2 rounds here in the SCCS. Always fast, seems to find some trouble, and then has to spend the whole race making it up. Right now, out in front. Of course, he's got 41 minutes to find that problem. Lasky in second. Let me correct myself. It is Lasky. Where is Canta? Canta has had an issue. We're going to look for it. All of a sudden, he wasn't there. just an off here. Here it is. The car gets
I
loose.
noticed that too. It does. It just starts to slide on him and overcorrects, and boy, just can't hang on to it. It spins all the way out in the grass here. You'll see in just a moment. Come through the turn here.
Kept it in bounds.
Yeah, it looks like maybe 2 wheels into the dirt there, Sue.
Yeah, I actually think he was fighting it even before that, and then I think he almost had it gathered up. So, the Italian driver is out of the mix. That moves Rob Adams up onto a podium spot. And again, that's one less car for Sonny Canchin to get around to get that overall win in his MX-5. And let's look at this right now, as he is close enough to Rob Adams to make Adams maybe do a little mirror driving.
I'll tell you what, he is putting pressure on Rob Adams right now as we speak, Sue. Looking over his shoulder here, he sees Canchin on the move. Gonna have this straightaway now here to sort things out. Canchin getting a nice run through there. Look at this, Soup. He's closing on him now.
What probably can't, I can't really speak. I don't know how much of a hole that that little Skippy pushes in the air. Look at Canchin trying to get whatever he can. Now he goes to the outside. Oh. I wonder if there's an advantage under braking to the heavier MX-5. Boy, that car really got into the corner well. Or it might just be an advantage in the talent of Sonny Canchin.
We'll go with a little bit of both. How's that, Sue?
Watching that MX-5 race with the Skippies reminds me of like a third grader getting to play with the first graders. Third graders are always getting beat up by the older guys. Finally, they're the big kids in the room.
Riley Rote right back here in his Mazda MX-5's got a tremendous battle going on right behind him. Gaspers and Jason Perry scrambling, Enzo Canta trying to come back through the field here.
Tim Seidel got a little bit loose right in front of Jeroen Ursum. Now, this is a great battle. Remember, not all of those are for points. Riley Rote 6th overall, 6th in his class as well. But then you get back to Gaspers. That's the first SRF being challenged by Perry. Then here comes Enzo Canta. Remember him?
Yeah, I certainly do. And he's making a run at it here on the inside. Gets by Perry. Still throwing it out there on the dirt and bringing it back across.
To his advantage, these are all stepping stones that he can use to help him run fast laps and maybe get back up to the leaders as he goes around Gaspers. Now, is he also, I thought he was going to tuck in behind Rote, but he says, nope, I got places to go. Rote's caught out, so here comes the leader in the SRF. It's Gaspers. Let's see which one of these cars accelerates better, the SRF or the MX-5. Looks about equal.
It does right now, yeah. Oh! Ooh. Slams the door on Perry. Perry back off into the dirt. Oh, Perry almost clips him when he comes back up on track.
Oh. If I said nose to tail, it would almost be an understatement.
Yeah.
They were so close. Look at that. Look at that candy cane car working on the back of Riley Rote.
Yeah, up alongside him now.
Through the carousel, he got him.
Rote gonna let him go.
Perry could not afford to lose touch with Gasper. Gasper now opens it up about a second over Perry.
Got a feeling Perry is going to catch him back up here.
Let's drop back to 11th overall. This is Seidel being challenged by old Joe McDonald. Not a real battle for any points, as the pass wouldn't matter in the points, but it's fun to watch these two guys go at it. They cross the start-finish line right now with 36.5 minutes of racing to go.
Oh, C-Love making a move on Angelo Fiorino making a move on C-Love in their SRFs. Oh. Gasper's having contact with Riley Rote.
Yeah, that was Rote who was
there.
Rote was diving underneath. Tried to dive under Perry, and that actually gave Perry now the lead. You can see the candy cane getting the move, following Rote through.
Yeah, Rote locks him up there in the turn.
I didn't know better. If I didn't know better, I think a little money might have exchanged hands between Perry and Roth there to get Gasper out of the way. Now look at Gasper's. He's on the outside of Ursum. Oh no, I'm sorry, I was a little bit behind. He's made the pass around Ursum's now as he tries to run down. He's got to get around Roth. And now Perry. Remember, just a little while ago we were talking about Perry losing touch with Gasper's. Well, the shoe is on the proverbial other foot.
You know, we haven't really checked in on the leader. Antonitis and Lasky still going at it here, Sue.
They are
very spirited battle between these two right now.
And the good news for them is they have opened up a 6 seconds gap on Sonny Catch Me If You Can't, and I'm not sure if that MX-5 is going to be able to get up there. Although, Sonny only one mistake away from Antonitis and Lasky getting together, and an MX-5 is getting first at the checkered flag right now. Ride on board with Lasky.
You know, and there'll be some strategy in play. You know, we talked about the limited fuel on these cars. The MX-5 only 35% to start this race in a tank. Skip Barber had 62%, and the SRF only 43%. These pit stops will be very, very important to these drivers, Soup.
If you're interested, the official iRacing location for these guys, Antonitis is listed as out of the UK Ireland club, and Lasky racing out of the Northwest. And here he comes. You're not gonna put the work in there. You can see that defensive line that Antonitis was taking. Oh, I heard some contact somewhere.
Ooh, get Joe McDonald sliding across the track, and he got hit by Trip Smith. Ooh.
Oh, two of the nicest guys. He comes across. Oh, and Trip has nowhere to go.
Yeah, he really didn't. I mean, I don't think he expected Joe to wind up there, to be honest with him. Not Joe's fault.
Go on board. We got to use our my AJ Foyt rule of avoiding the crash. Aim for the spinning car. Go right, Trip. Yeah. You got to go where the car is, because the time you get there, it won't be there.
Yeah, and he wound up having to tow back after that. So did Joe McDonald.
Trip watching the replay of this broadcast right now, yelling, "Shut up, Soup! You get in the car and tell me how to get around that." I hear you, baby.
Boy, wrote just the proverbial a piece of sand there in the ointment. Gasper's getting by.
So now it's a 1.3 seconds from Jason Perry back to Gasper's. That's assuming Gasper's can stay out in front of Riley Road. One of the interesting dynamics of this format is, even though the Skippies might be faster than the MX-5s, and the MX-5s faster than the Spec 4 SRFs. Thank you, Director, for helping me out there. Eventually, though, because of the difference in talent, you're going to find that they're going to find their level, and that's kind of what's happened right now with Riley Road. One of the reasons why I always drive the slowest car in any multi-class race, because I hate to be passed by the guys in the slow car. It's so embarrassing.
Well, you know, another example of what's going on here is with Kanchan and Adams. You know, Kanchan got around Adams a couple laps ago, and Adams still there. Kanchan has not been able to drop him, and Adams doing a good job of just keeping up with him, and obviously that MX-5 cutting a pretty good-sized hole.
I think that's
in the air, and Adams able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think Rob Adams could probably comb his hair behind that MX-5 right now with the amount of wind that's getting thrown back on him. Let's see if we look at this. He's going to make a run into the first corner. Going to peek down in there. Now, last time I saw this, it was Kanchan's ability to outbrake him. Let's see if that... this time Adams brings it in a little deeper, and look who gets outbroke there.
Wow.
Look at that. Sonny might have been given that a little fragile.
And Kanta,
a little extra room.
Kanta getting by Fitness back here. Boy, look at Kanta coming back now. boy, he's got Canta's got Canchin dead to rights now in his sights.
Okay, the racing gods are going to tease this commentator as we end up 2017 when they put Canchin and Canta next to each other. That's just not fair. I can do it. I'm a professional. Canta in 5th position, trying to run down Canchin in 4th. Now let's go back and look at the podium spot for the MX-5s. This is Rote and Ursum. Now that Rote has finally been passed by all those guys, we're a little racing with some of the other 3rd graders here, and that is Jeroen Ursum.
Yeah, and My Little Pony on the track there. My Little Pony chasing Riley Rote.
Let's stay with us. They go down into Paddock Bend. Now, let's see what the Dutch driver can do back there. Can he get on the gas as he tries to run down Rote? Rote, of course, another one of the drivers racing from down under. Rote does not take a defensive line. He leaves it there for Ursum if he wants it. Jeroen's going to wait. Plenty of time to go. A pit stop between now and the end.
And Sue, probably were watching that. Canta completes the pass of Sonny Canchin. Your top 4 are now the Skippies.
Yep, that's nothing between Lasky now and, between Adams and Canta. That gap, 2.7 seconds. Watch that shrink.
Canta fighting back.
And while we do this, we don't need to go there. I just want to follow up on what's going on with Antoniadis and Lasky. I'm liking what Lasky is doing. He's just following Antoniadis around as we continue to watch. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're on Lasky. There we go. He's not really making the move. I think he's just saving fuel here, Sean. I think Kane realizes even if I get around Fahim, I'm not going anywhere. Maybe he'll get around him when he wants to pit so he can be first into pit lane. Otherwise, why not just sit back there? Save fuel. I got 10 seconds between me and Rob Adams. What's the reason to lead?
Not much right now. Yeah, definitely save it. Perry, Gasper's going at it again. Gasper's looking to the inside as they head down into turn 1.
He gets him. It took him a while to run him down after he had that mistake with the MX-5 with Rote, but he got there now. Goes a little bit wide. Watch the momentum now from the Christmas-flavored machine. Boy, I get kidded a lot for calling Colors of Cars flavor, but that one you really do want to take a lick of, don't you?
Sure. Why not?
It's a candy cane, man. Right on. So Gasper's first in the SRFs. Perry second. You know, the driver we have not talked much about is Angelo Fiorino, the New Jersey driver.
And just as you pick him up, Tim Seidel has a bit of a problem right behind him there.
Seidel was in 3rd, so now Fiorino has got up into that podium spot. We're going to go on board with Seidel.
Seidel
You be in the cock belt.
Gets out of turn 5 here.
Oh my, nice catch. So Angelo Fiorino up into 3rd. I sure hope he owns a pizzeria in New Jersey. Oh my goodness, that's Fredo Rio trying to expand the boundaries of the track. They're testing the envelope, taking it really wide out of Paddock Bend. Director says he tossed the dough and missed it. Come on in and talk to us, Angelo. We want to know about you. Pizzeria? What other could he have? See, I've watched too much Sopranos to go any farther than that.
Maybe a deli. Maybe a deli soup.
Okay.
Fine Italian deli. Jeroen Ursum giving Riley Rote quite the chase right now, Soup. Jeroen trying to get this podium spot away from Mr. Rote there.
They work on through 6 as we ride on board the My Little Pony car. He races that as his little girl watches.
Are we actually racing? Are we riding the pony or just riding on board with the pony?
We're riding the pony right now. Out there, Ursum's saying, "Giddy up!" as he tries to run down Riley Road. Gene Fittis has made his pit stop. He was in second in the MX-5s. He's coming out. Looks like he's going to cycle out just behind the battle of Seidel and Fiorino. 12th overall.
You know what? Maybe not a bad plan. Comes back out to open track there for him.
See him right now. He is just ahead of, we don't know why we call him Cowboy Bob Mills, but it sure is fun to say. Back in the Baker's Dozen position right now. Where does Mills race out of? He races out of
Ohio, Sue.
Clem, Ohio. They have cowboys in Ohio.
We're being told kind of, Sue.
That's from a man who grew up in Cincinnati. He might know. Yeah. So Bob Mills in 13th right now. Still needs to make his pit stop. The only car that has come in, Gene Fittis, the New Zealand driver.
And Joe McDonald's still on track, Soup. He's been in the pits for damage, and the car is still struggling, to be honest with you. Joe just off track here about a lap and a half ago. He's in line for a Dory right now. He's working on it.
And here we go in the SRFs. And the candy cane car's out in front. Perry gets that done as they go down into one. Is he going to do a little up and under from David Gasper? No, he's just going to sit back there and wait. So we have a new leader. Jason Perry. Might be time to pit now. Jason's saying might be time to come in. I want to be first to pit lane. Angelo Fiorino, remember, who continues in 10th overall to race third in class, being challenged. Tim Seidel gathering it back up, coming back at him.
Yeah, you said it right there, Sue. Really, really want to come in the pit ahead of anybody. You got clear track in front of you. Got to be careful here, though. Gasper's really pressing on Perry, trying to get him to make a mistake here.
You talked about Joe McDonald. We don't need to go there, but Joe has just been lapped, well, several times actually, but the Skippies just got around him. No problem. Got to give Joe credit. That car took a hard hit from Trip Smith. Still out there. What about Tripp? Did Tripp decide to bring him back out? No, Tripp wiser man than Joe.
Yeah, that car's still being worked on down there. Fit is starting to hit the traffic here.
Yeah, now he's getting up into that mix that we were missing. This is the Seidel Fiorino mix. Now, if Tim is smart, Seidel, he can get onto the back of Gene. See if Gene can pull him through. Here we go. We look at this. We'll go up to the front there, and now it is Gasper's in front of Perry. Is it a battle or is it a dance? Yeah, the director and I are thinking the same thing there. They have 5 seconds over Ursum.
I'm going to go with battle.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to keep it positive here. I'm going to go with battle.
Let's leave that one, director. Drop back a few spots to 9th overall to Gene Fittis as he has made his way through now. Fiorino and Seidel. Remember, that battle between Fiorino and Seidel is for the podium in the SRFs.
Fit is on the move here. He is, just under 4 seconds behind Drew and Ursum. Obviously, Jeroen still having to make his stop.
How about Jeroen, though, sitting second now in class with Fittis pitting and getting around... who was he racing with there? Remember, Ursum was in the battle. It was with...
Riley Rote.
It was Rote. Oh, and Rote took his pit stop. Okay.
Yes, just now. He's about a lap and a half into his stint. It should be the last stint. One stop will get it done.
What'll do? Well, that'll be fun when Ursum comes in to pick Rote up again. And here comes your little SRF waltz. Boy, though, Sean, yeah, I do think it's more of a battle than it is a dance. If it was a dance, you'd want to try to get that done before you got into the corner. I just heard a crash somewhere? Is everybody okay? My replay button's not working. I guess everyone's still driving, so we're all right. Oh, it must have been Kent.
Something happened to Kansas Soup. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, he got loose and he sideswipes the car. That looks like it's in right through the carousel before getting into the carousel. Here it comes. I thought that was where it was. Oh, turn, okay. We have a ways to go, so he's got to get through 5 and 6 will be good as he's in turn 3. We'll watch this. This probably put an end to his day and maybe his year here on GSRC.
Yeah, I'm going to think so. He hit hard here.
And there's side swipes that left side. Is he going to keep the Skippy going? No, I think not.
Yeah, it probably broke the suspension on the left front there. Awful hard car to turn when it's got some damage on it. He runs it off, takes the toe. Still sitting there. And on back to live action, though.
This will be fun. Let's stay on the leaders right now because they're coming up on the back of a man who's had his share of excitement. Riley Rote. Antoneta still leading. Lasky right behind him. 15 seconds back to Rob Adams.
Boy, Lasky had to check up just a little bit there.
Poor Riley's trying to get the car out of the way. They pull right in behind him. Get a tow. There goes Antonetas. There goes Lasky. Lasky with a big run. Not doing anything with it, though.
So,
all right.
Trip
Yep.
Smith apparently taking a little offense to you telling him how to drive.
That doesn't surprise me.
Trip got it behind the wall right now, unfortunately. Better luck next week to him there.
Trip, a long time. Not only does a lot of races on GSRC, watches a lot of the broadcasts as well.
Boy, we haven't talked about these too much. Fiorino and Seidel right now.
Well, look at that. Seidel has got him. Remember, it was Fiorino was out in front, so Seidel has got that spot back. For now. Stops are coming. Gene Fitt is currently racing in 8th. He's the only driver who's made a stop. Riley Rote has made one as well.
Riley Rote's made his stop as well, Soup. Good battle, though, we're watching here on screen, man. Fiorino really putting the pressure on right now, trying to get this spot back from Seidel. The foul speed SRF is right up on the rear deck.
Good racing today. This one has some nice racing going on. We have this battle as we look here at this Perry Gaspers battle again. That is where they like to make the move. You know what? It's all working nice down there. Let's see what happens when the laps get a little closer to the end. Let's see if they take a defensive line. Make that pass. Look at, here comes Gasper now. He's going to be on the inside as they go through what's called the wagon wheel. This is tough, but there is lots of runoff on the outside. Perry doesn't need it. Perry gets a good drive off the corner. Now through the chute. This should be flat out through here. You got to get him wound up, though. Careful as they go through here. Maybe a little bit of a lift. Now this is the part I didn't like. Pinned to the inside is going to be Gaspers. That should leave a much better drive off for Perry, but there's nowhere to put the cars. The track's too narrow. Oh, that's some fun racing.
It really is, Soup. Enjoying keeping an eye on this.
That one much more exciting to watch than the Antonetas Lasky battle. But this is more of a parade right now.
Boy, Seidel made a small mistake out of the carousel, but Fiorino was not able to take advantage of it.
We don't need to go there, but I can just report that Gene Fittis has made his way around Jeroen Ursum, even though Ursum still has a stop to make. That just goes to show you how fast Fittis is. See how I did the glass half full there, saying how fast Fittis is in comparison to maybe hurting Jeroen's feelings?
Bob Mills bringing his Skippy down.
He was in 11th overall at the time, 4th in class. I think he should be good as Enzo Canta. In fact, I looked down there. There were only a handful of Skippies entered here today. Canta is done, and Menyankov didn't start.
Wow. Gaspers and Perry going at it some more here, Sue.
Yeah, you know, these guys are smoking on the Hindenburg. I'm telling you, they've got to be careful. Or this commentator's going to end up saying, "Oh, the humanities."
Well, Tim Seidel could care less if they were careful. Fiorino, though, is still giving Seidel. Seidel's got to worry about that battle and not even think about what's going on way up in front of him there between Gaspers and Perry.
Seidel and Fiorino both battling great. Unlike last race that we had where there wasn't a lot of battles going on, a lot of great battles in the classes themselves. The one class that's kind of left out of that is the MX-5s, as there's really no battle going on in that class.
Perry takes it back, got the inside position here into the turn.
This is all going to come down to pit stops. And honestly, for the fans, this is better. The longer they race, the more fun it is, because as soon as they make a pit stop, that could end it all. Especially with these. Well, let's go as we look at Gasser. Here it is again. On the outside now is Gaspers making the move. He's got the run. Now he'll have the preferred position through 5. This time Perry keeps him pinned down. But not. Whoa! Perry gets a little bit loose. Gathers it up. What's going on with the Skippies, you may add? They are just going around the track as nice as you could be. Antoniadis ahead of Lasky. I'm telling you right now, Kane Lasky is going to get in and out of the pit box faster than Antoniadis.
Might be the only opportunity he has to beat Antoniadis. I don't see how he doesn't go in with him, though. This is going to be.
Oh, I would too. I'd stay right there, follow him in, and be first out. Though just take less fuel. You should be able to take less fuel. You've been following him for what? 12 minus 45 is 33. Hey, I did that pretty good. 12 minus 45 is not 33, but everyone knows what I mean.
Soup. That's math.
Okay.
What are we not allowed to do here? Here we go.
Hey, here it is. Now, we have a chance. As Lasky was going to try to make that move. He doesn't, but now that leads me think that I don't need to know math now. If Lasky's going to be aggressive, it's pit stop time. That's one place where he can pick up some time to be first into pit lane. And Antoniadis knows this as well. Let's stay on this now for a minute, because I think Lasky getting a little more pesky.
It's getting spicy. It's definitely getting spicy. 12 minutes remaining, Soup, and the pit stop has got to happen.
And the farther you go, the easier it is to calculate how much fuel you need. He only needs to figure out, I only need 11 minutes of fuel. Let's see now. We talked about this. This is gonna play on quarter 9. Sean says it can't be done. I think Crackers knows better than me. Not going to happen there. But unfortunately, if Antoniadis decides to come in this time, which he does not. All right, let's stay on this one and see if Lasky wants this spot. He's back 5 car lengths. Crossing the start-finish line now. That's a good point. You can see how far that start-finish line is down in the middle of the straight. There's time you can make a run. The defensive line this time now from Antoniadis, but not going to matter. Sean, you can get there if you get a good run out of paddock. You can make the pass before the start-finish line here at some point.
Yeah, you need a really, really good run. Rob Adams comes in there, Soup. Listen, big update in the Spec Racer Fords. David Gaspers, Jason Perry all come in and are out of their pit stop. Tim Seidel was in also.
And that means the new leader is C-Love. Let's see Love right now. There he is.
Canchin's in. Sonny Canchin has brought his Mazda in. Gene Fittis riding in second. Canchin rolling now.
And like you said, Gasper and Perry, they came out nose to tail, so that battle continues. Which is what I do not think is going to happen when these skippies come in. Uh-oh, here he comes. Antonietis comes in. Oh, why, Kane Lasky, did you not come in with him? I look at the qualifying times, and it's because Soup, I qualified just 5/100ths of a second slower. Actually, Soup, I was faster than Antonietis.
C-Love giving up the ghost. He's in.
That's going to give it back to Gasper and back to Perry. You can report, remember we talked about it, Jeroen Ursum came out well ahead of Riley Rote when Ursum finally made his pit stop. So now Ursum comfortably in third in the MX-5s, Rote in fourth. Antonietis is out. Let's look at his pit stop time. In the box for 10 seconds. That's about right. In fact, that is the fastest time in the box of any Skippy, or for that fact, any machine. Lasky has to come in this time, but now he knows I only need 8.5 minutes of fuel. Lasky coming to pit entrance right now. Is it time? This might be an indication of that maybe Antonietis ran it dry and Lasky had enough to go that extra lap. And again, their qualifying times were fast enough. I don't think Lasky lost anything by staying out there running all by himself. So now he comes in. Where's Antonietis? Yes, coming to paddock now.
Yeah, he is making his way there now. Going to hit the right-hander.
Lasky's in his box. 10.5 seconds, he begins to roll. That's about the same as Antonietis. Oh, I don't know. Antonietis now has some traffic in front of him. He's got Rote and Seidel. He blows by them, and he blows by Lasky.
Wow.
Lasky was in the box for the same amount of time. Careful up front, though. This is really tricky. Antonietis, that's with Riley Rote. My goodness, Riley Rote is a magnet for excitement.
He's been all over this broadcast tonight, Sue.
They keep coming at him from all angles. So look at this. Antonietis now, he's got, my timing and scoring hasn't caught up, but there's 2 cars between him and Lasky. 1.8 seconds between those Skippy leaders. That is not the case back in the SRFs. Gasper with a car length lead over Perry.
Yeah, it's going to be the last lap for these two. I'm convinced. It's
kind of a case of eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Where do the laps fall? Where am I when the last lap comes up? Always start eeny, meeny, miny, mo on the other guy. That's my rule.
Soup, everybody in after those pit stops.
Let's go ahead and run it down a bit as this has been done. Sean, I'll take the first 3 because they're all Skippies.
Okay.
Your leader is Fahim Antonietis. Got a comfortable lead over Kane Lasky of about 2.5 seconds, a little less than that. Lasky, though, right in a battle right now between, you guessed it, Riley Rote. He gets that done. And then we drop back to the next Skippy. That is Rob Adams all by himself. 21 seconds up to Lasky, 18 seconds. Really a ton of time back to Cowboy Bob Mills. What about the MX-5, Sean?
All right, Soup. Well, let's look at that real quick. You've got Canchin right now in the lead after that pit stop completed, all right? And he has got about 5.5, maybe about 6 seconds on Gene Fittis right now, who is in second, holding on to that podium position. Now, just behind them, Soup, you've got the SRF leaders. This battle of David Gaspers and Jason Perry right now. Those two fighting. 1-2 have been for the whole race. And Jeroen Ursum is going to complete the podium right now for the MX-5s, and you've got Riley Rote in there, who's in 4th for the MX-5s, and then you go back to 10th overall, and 3rd in class is going to be Tim Seidel, trying to hang on to a podium spot in his Spec Racer Ford.
I remember Seidel was in that battle with Fiorino, and it looks like that has really cooled off after the stops. 4.8 seconds now separates those two driver Seidel comfortably in a podium position. So with Antoniadis comfortably ahead of Lasky and nothing much going on in the MX-5s, we're going to focus most of our attention on the battle of the race. That is these two guys. I think they're going to spend New Year's Eve together, Gaspers and Perry. And here comes Perry just looking in there. 5 minutes of racing to go.
It's all come down to this last 5 minutes, especially for these two.
Boy, I don't know where you want to be. I'm not sure. I've seen these guys battle out of turn 1. That seems where all the excitement has been the whole race. Out of turn 1, it gets decided into the wagon wheel. That's corner 3. We'll see if it plays out that way. Not sure if there's enough time from here, as they are going through the S's now. Through 9, Sean tells me this can't be done here, and then I'm not sure that Gaspers is going to be slow enough that Perry will have a chance to nip him at the start-finish line. Let's stay on this and just pretend this is the last lap. Look at the run that Perry gets out of that corner, though. Maybe that's a good, and maybe he's on him now. Can he get there before the start-finish line? And is he going to get all he can? He cannot. Here's the duck to the inside, and look how Gaspers left that open for him. It's yours if you want it.
If you want it.
There you go.
Yeah, checking in on the MX-5s, I thought Riley Rote might have a chance to go get Jeroen Ursum. But boy, he's running out of time here quickly. Jeroen got good pace right now, a little bit faster. Riley going to have to get on his horse and go get him. He's down about 0.3 of a second.
While you're talking about that, Gaspers came back on Perry. Did it between 3 and 4 going into the chute. Now, I can't imagine any passing can be done through this technical section. And just to put a fly in the ointment, they have the Skippy leader behind him. And Fahim cannot afford to wait. It's only 2 seconds between him and the guy he's chasing. He's got to go.
Lasky's right there. Perry going to get out of the way quick. So's Gaspers. Good, well played, guys.
The gap remains at 2 seconds of the Skippy leaders. All right, here comes Perry. Gaspers, last time he left the inside open if Perry wants it. Doing what my dad used to call matador racing, kind of putting out the cape and letting the bull go through. And right now, Gaspers says, "Ole!" They are side by side. Ciella's bathtubs out of 2. This is where Gaspers was good last time. He actually made the pass here. I got to think when he's side by side, he'll have the advantage. And he does. But again, here comes Lasky. Lasky going to go right through there, going to dart through. 1-2. Thank you, boys.
Lasky couldn't ask for much more than that.
Now I don't think these guys have to worry. The next car behind him is Jeroen Ursum, and Jeroen's not going to get up there and mess with these guys. 2 minutes of racing to go. 120 seconds left in the GSRC broadcast season.
Yeah, Jeroen just trying to hang on to that spot, stay on the podium. Rote still giving chase, but it's still not enough. Hasn't closed the gap at all on him.
Tim Seidel racing in 3rd in the SRFs, hoping for something to happen up here in front, and maybe he can vulture his way to a win. They come across the line right now with lap times of about 1:20. Our leader's already long gone. Ooh, he might be on the... yeah, one more lap, I think. One more lap probably for Antoniadis.
Oh, Gaspers with a mistake out of turn 2. Brings Perry right up alongside him here. We've seen this before.
He is so good, and I'm talking about Gaspers through this section. Perry probably saying, Soup, if I could have the preferred line, I'd be good too. Here comes Perry, gives him a little bit of a hello. I think Gasper knows you're there. Down into 5, the defensive line from Gasper. That may open it up if he wants to force the issue. Perry will get a good run off. He does, but again, no room to play there. All this going on, meanwhile, our leader is working its way down into Paddock Bend, the overall leader.
Here we go.
Perry thinking about it. Boy, it was there if he wanted to force the issue. He does not. He wants to do it this time by. I think, now if I have this right, this will be the last bite of the quarter 1 apple as they're seeing the white flag right now.
Fahim down on his way to turn 1, already across the start finish line. The white flag is out.
And here comes the dive for the SRF lead. He gets it in there one more time. They are side by side through 1, or they do it clean. Boy, they have got that down. But again, Gasper's in the position he knows so well right there. How many times have we seen this before? Perry has nothing to do. There's nothing he can do from out there other than drop in behind, try to get a toe, give a little love tap is what he's going to try to do. Just a friendly little scooch. All it really does is move Gasper along, opens up the gap to about 3 or 4 car lengths now.
And Soup, Fahim Antonitis coming around out of the carousel one last time to complete this race.
2 seconds up. We'll go back, we'll cover that one, and we'll also cover Gasper. We can even get these on replay if we miss them. Gasper 5 car lengths ahead now of Perry. Now 4 car lengths. Meanwhile, our Skippy leader going through the final corner. Let's cut to him real quick. And finally, Fahim Antonitis, he's been his own worst enemy. Today, he is his best friend. He crosses and gets the win in the Skippies. Sonny Ketchen is way behind, so it's going to be Gasper's neck. And it's not going to happen as hard as he tried. David Gasper gets the win. Jason Perry has to settle for second. Ketchen working his way through the carousel, through the S's. Got nobody to worry about.
Pretty solid drive here for Ketchen today. No Richard Losper to mess things up for him today.
Sonny Ketchen coming around the Paddock Bend. And Sonny's going to end the 2017 year on a high note, unless he has another race between now and New Year's Eve. Sonny gets the win in the MX-5s.
Good race for Gin Fittis.
Fittis, And how about a little love? We got to give a little love to Jeroen Ursum in his My Little Pony car, picking up yet another podium. It's becoming commonplace, Jeroen.
Jeroen starting to rack up the hardware, man.
Yeah, no. Make some more room on that Dutch trophy case. All right, the racing is over here at Summit Point, but our broadcast is far from done. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back, and Soup and Crackers will run down the entire finishing order for you, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the, man, this is a mouthful. Let's see if I can get this for the final time this year. Asbury Motorsports Sports Car Challenge Series. Got it! Round number 3 here from Summit Point. The third round is complete. Let's go ahead and work our way through the grid. The winner in the Skippies, Fahim Antonietas. He comes ahead about 4 seconds of Kane Lasky. Rob Adams is third on the podium in that class. Then we'll get down to a couple MX5 drivers, and they're both from down under, the Australian Sonny Catch Me If You Catchin' and Gene Must Finish Fittest. Well, he lives up to his nickname and does fittest. They go 4th and 5th, 1st and 2nd in class. They had a couple SRF drivers. You saw it. They put on the show. David Gaspers nips out Jason Perry to get the win there, 8th and 9th overall. And finally, that would be 6th and 7th overall. 8th was Jeroen Ursum, 3rd in class. Riley Roach finishes just off the MX5 podium in 9th. And the 3rd place driver in the SRFs is Tim Seidel. Sean?
Okay, and 11th overall, 4th in class, Angelo Fiorino in his SRF. Bob Mills, back there in his Skippy, is going to finish 4th in class, 12th overall. C. Love, 5th place in the SRFs today.
He led for a while.
He did. He led a lot. That's absolutely right. And he'll finish 13th overall. Jeffrey Gambrell had a bit of a tough day. Finishes 6th in class, 14th overall. Paul Barbusa going to finish 15th overall, 7th in the Spec Racer Fords. Then we go back to Jerry Moorsdorf, and Jerry in his MX5 finishes 5th in class, 16th overall. Richard Valley, the last Spec Racer Ford, 8th in class, 17th overall. Joe McDonald in his MX5 finishes 18th, 6th in class. Enzo Canta. Boy, that was a rough one for Enzo. What a tough way to end his day. And he'll finish there in 19th, 5th in your Skippies. Trip Smith, 20th, 7th in the Mazdas. Marcelo Pajan, he is 8th in the Mazdas, 21st. And then Danil Manenkov never got his Skippy off the grid. Trouble there for him early, Soup.
Yes, the U.S. driver was not able to get that car into the race. Let's go ahead and talk to our MX5 winner here today. And, of course, it is Sonny Catch Me If You Can. Sonny, congratulations on another win.
Hey, Soup. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Let me ask you this. Is there any way are there any track or any kind of combination you see where maybe the MX5s might be able to get to the Skippies and you get yourself an overall win?
Yeah, that's a good question because I've been thinking about it after the race as well, and considering we had the previous races with the Skippies, they're tricky ones, aren't they? I think I can't get a track. Maybe it's a track where you can get a good qualifying lap and then get ahead of them. Basically, that's what I observed, and the Skippies may not be that fast on cold tires compared to the MX5, but as the race goes on, they're quite tricky. They somehow get that boost in power, and the tires, I think the warm tires for them are better suited. So you see them fly past you just when you thought you could defend them. So any track which is a narrow one and won't give any opportunities for the Skippies to get past you, it's a good one, I guess. Let's
get away from racing for a second. You're a young man in Australia. What's the New Year's Eve plans?
Yeah, it's something I'm looking forward to. I think I'm just going to go out with my mates to the city, watch the fireworks. I'm looking forward to it, and then watch them again when or on the other side of the world when it goes to. So I'm pretty pumped for tonight. So just going out, I guess.
Oh, it is tonight then, isn't it? It's not long for you.
Yes, that is correct. It's New Year's Eve.
That's even funnier. Hey, stay safe, and we'll see you next year. Good luck.
Thanks, Sub, and wishing you as well Happy New Year, and to everyone. It was great today. All the drivers. Just want to say this: they were so courteous, and I love racing. I think this league is fantastic, and I think in the new year it's going to only get better. Thanks.
I agree. Let's grow this thing. Okay, Sonny Ketchen, good luck. Another win for you. That's funny, isn't it, boys? I asked him about New Year's Eve, and it's just a few hours for him.
Yes, Soup, just a little after 10 o'clock in the morning there for Sonny. And Australia. And now we've caught up with Jeroen Ursum, who finds himself back on the podium. My Little Pony.
How about
Congratulations, Jeroen. How about that, man?
Well, I'm glad with it.
This is becoming kind of boring, kind of routine now.
Yeah. I need to go to look for a trophy case or something. Because this is getting this is something I can get used to.
You clear out another room there in the house and just make it your trophy room there.
But Riley made me work for it. Oh my god!
He really did talk about that. I mean, quite a battle. And Riley wrote. We talked about it. He was all over the broadcast. He seemed to be in the middle of everything.
yeah, I was staying behind the first half of the race. I was just saving fuel, so I had to take less in the fuel stop. I didn't take tires as well because I had so little fuel needed. But when I came out of the pits, I had a 2-second gap or something like that, and I could barely get that on. So,
well,
that was a third spot in the third race.
Hey, listen, it's a great way to end the year, though, isn't it? I mean, a podium finish for you, and I know you're still trying to get used to this, all this fame and the fortune that these podiums are bringing. But
yeah, I'm still looking for a manager, someone who can do my social media stuff.
Okay, well, you know what? We'll put a shingle out for you. Maybe we can find somebody interested in that. But yeah. Soup may in fact be looking. Soup, you interested?
Yes, well, something we can talk about. Yes.
At least if he's not going to compare me with Henry III or something.
How could he possibly? That was in the pre-race. You need to be practicing when I'm doing my pre-race thing. Come on.
But the broadcasts are so good. I want to see it.
Well, a lot of our racers wait until the replay and they watch it afterwards, Jeroen. But hey, listen, man, thank you. They live there on YouTube forever, or at least for however long forever is.
Hey,
that's
Jeroen,
a whole other conversation. Go ahead, Sim.
Have a good New Year's, okay? What's New Year's like in Dutchland?
In Dutchland.
Dutchland.
Yeah, a lot of fireworks mid-eve, and I'm going for a board game evening with my cousin, my wife, and his girlfriend, and my kids as well.
Board game. Okay, what board game do you guys play?
I don't know yet.
Monopoly? Anybody in for Monopoly? Maybe.
Yeah, probably. We'll see.
All right. Jeroen, happy New Year, buddy. Great talking to you. Congratulations on a great run today here at Summit Point.
Thank you, guys. Same for you. So have a good New Year's, and thanks for the broadcast again.
All right, fellas, that was Jeroen Ursum, and Soup Enzo Canta going to finish up with us here for our last broadcast of 2017.
You know, you got to think that Monopoly, like in the Netherlands, you like, instead of like buying railroads and stuff, you buy like windmills and dikes and stuff. You know, that'd be kind of cool. Kind of neat. Let's go with a man from Italy, Enzo Canta. Boy, it's been a long day for him. Enzo, you have a copy?
Oh no.
Can you hear me?
We got you.
Oh, hi guys. Oh, today many issues with my computer. I didn't understand well the question. Can you repeat it, please?
Well, I'll just change it up to this. Enzo, there are no more GSRC broadcasts for you to be on, so now your holiday can officially start.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, I like to do interview because I think you do a very hard work to the broadcast. So I think you need people to speak to after the race. So I'm here for you, and I'm here because I want to explain what happened in the race.
Go ahead.
I was I I will do full saving because I think my pace was faster, but not enough to go away and put him out of my draft. So I think the only thing to do was to let him to go in front and save much fuel as I could do. But then my headphones started to not work, and then work again, not work and work again. So I was distracted, and I did that mistake picking the grass. And fortunately, I saved the car. I did not crash it, and I tried to recover. My pace was faster, I think, than Fahim, but not enough to recover the gap. But I was managing to overtake Rob Adams. But in that moment, my headphone stopped to work at all. So I was completely in silence driving the car, and it was very difficult to change the gear. And so I did some mistakes, and then I understood that I had to quit the race because it was impossible to drive. So this is what happened. And but I have to say Happy New Year to you, and have a nice 31 December. And I hope you will continue to do this incredible work for GSRC in the 2018 too.
We will. This before we let you go, what part of Italy are you from?
I'm in the south of Italy. I'm from Bari. That is a very beautiful city near the sea. And tomorrow, I think we will see a lot of fireworks in Italy. We are almost the best in Italy for fireworks. And I will be with my family, my wife and my little son, with some friends, and waiting for the new year.
Hey, happy New Year's for you, and we look forward to seeing you in as many GSRC broadcasts as possible in 2018.
Oh, see you.
Enzo Canta, becoming quickly a fan favorite here on GSRC. You know, guys, it might just be because I'm older than you guys are, but it is, when you think about what we're doing, it is truly amazing that we can talk to people from all around the globe, and they're all celebrating New Year's. The globe is a small place, isn't it?
It is, Soup. It's amazing how iRacing makes us feel like we live on a pretty small rock. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid going to Disneyland, and they had this is back in the 60s, and they had like a video phone. It's like, one day you'll be able to do this. This is really incredible. Well, before I wax nostalgic more, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. We'd like to thank everybody well, first of all, I'd like to thank the people who wrote this script so I can find where I am. Here we go. Everybody at the Quality Racing Sim-dicate for organizing this series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. I hope my partner's looking at the script because he's got stuff to do in a minute. We'd also like to say thanks to the software and hardware that we use on our broadcast. Thank you, software and hardware, that you see on the screen right now. The original music that gives every GSRC broadcast that original flavor and feel. Well, that's thanks to Eric Eckham and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them crackers.
Soup, I also want to thank the entire staff at the Global Sim Racing channel for another excellent year of coverage here on iRacing. 2018 is going to be our best year yet. It's going to be really special. Listen, the Asbury Motorsports Sports Car Challenge Series returns in 2018 next Saturday, January the 6th, from the big track at Okayama. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. For more information about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. An even better bet is our YouTube channel right here where you're at now. Our complete archive of footage from the last 4.5, almost 5 years there for you, and all of our races coming up here in the near future. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Just type that in all one word. And Soup, I can't thank you enough for being a a great partner and friend over these past many years now. And man, I'm looking forward to a lot of broadcasts in 2018 with you.
I hate to tell the bosses this because they might be listening, but we do it for free. Fun. This is so much fun. Yes, I agree. I love working with you. So finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, that is Sean Crackers Ambrose, our director, whose voice you only hear on other broadcasts, Joe Peak, and our camera artist, whose voice you never hear, Dougie Beard. I'd like to thank all of you for watching and wish you all a Happy New Year. And with that said, and with the honor of being the last voice heard on any GSRC broadcast this calendar year. Oh, you're going to just think in. When the script ends, I'm done. You can poke in afterwards if you want the honor. For the final time in 2017, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.